Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2. We are going to have another fun episode. I'll kind of recap a little bit what we talked about last time we were together, and then we'll also kind of have some extending of some of what we talked about, and then also some new material. So we last week we talked a little bit about just kind of introductions of ourselves. We talked about some of the generational stereotypes, and we're going to feed into that a little bit more because I feel like that's what some people are very interested in and hearing some of that parts of it. We talked about dial-up internet, we talked about flip phones, we talked about floppy disk. AJ learned quite a few new things, and then we played a game, and I thought that was fun. And then we'll kind of try to do something similar. Anything I missed?
No, I think we just get started.
Okay, great. The other thing too I wanted to actually ask while we're in here is just something that, like, what's going on in your life right now?
I'm starting up auditions soon for Peter Pan. So that'll be fun.
What part are you hoping to get?
Well, obviously, ideally, Peter Pan would be awesome.
Cool.
I don't know. I'm fairly short, so I don't know if I would get the role, but
you feel like more like a Michael type to me now.
Yeah. Technically, Peter Pan is like, I think, 14?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe younger, but
maybe
yeah.
12. I don't know. Yeah. I think John or Michael would be really fun. Shmee. It's a fun play, so I'm excited for that.
So fun facts. You probably didn't know this when we were very young. Myself, and then Amanda, who was the sister right after me, and then Braden, who's the brother right after her. We dressed up as Peter Pan characters for Halloween one year. I was Peter Pan. I had a sword. I was probably 5 or so when this happened, and then Amanda was Wendy, and Braden was John, and he had a little bear. He had some glasses. We all wore our pajamas, so it made it really easy for mom to put that together. There's a picture of it that you've probably seen in our old photo albums.
I feel like I kind of remember that.
We'll have to.
I haven't looked through a lot of photo albums.
We'll have to put that up maybe on the screen here. Edit that in, everybody can see it. And then just for the general audience, both AJ and I have shared love of being in plays. I was in several plays in high school as well, and maybe we'll get a chance to talk about that at some point.
Yeah.
And then we can have that. So I'll both have some of the theater nerd in us as well. So that's kind of things there. And then on my end, we're just I've got my in-laws coming into town, and we've got some crazy things happening at work. We're about to go on vacation, and so I will hear about some of the happenings at work after the fact. But excited to go to Disneyland. And actually, maybe we'll go into Disneyland first, and then we'll go into some of those other things because AJ also recently went to Disneyland for the first time. So maybe tell everybody about what did you think of Disneyland, and like how did that go?
Well, I went with my theater group, so on topic. And it was such a fun time. It was exhausting though, because we went for like 3 days, and we went there at opening and then stayed all the way till closing, and we also did some theater workshops too, which that was really cool. I was exhausted afterwards. I actually took a couple of naps at Disneyland, but it was a blast. I loved the rides. They're so fun.
What was your favorite ride?
I don't know if I can pick one, but I can give you like a top 4.
Okay, that's great.
I really liked Rise of the Resistance because I'm a really big Star Wars fan. Our whole family pretty much is. And it felt like you were in a movie. It was just so cool. I also really liked Indiana Jones. When I first got there, I was like, it's just a car. It's not that interesting. And then I got on it. It was actually extremely fun.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked Guardians too. I know that one is either really big hit or really big miss for some people. Not really much in between, but I had a blast at that one too. And I also liked Radiator Springs. Radiator Springs was a good one too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how some of those things kind of cross over into, even now me in my 30s, like I also enjoy the Rise of Resistance ride. I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been on the newly themed Guardians of the Galaxy one. I've been on it when
Oh.
it was the Tower of Terror.
Yeah, it's so good.
So
now, I've heard that it's way better now. They do a different song every single time, and the songs were so good because it's Guardians.
Yeah, Guardians has a good classic
song.
soundtrack for sure.
It was great. It's really well themed.
I really love the reskinning of the California Adventure Park to being Pixar's Incredibles.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, the Incredicoaster was really fun too.
Yeah. So, and then my kid, the last time we went to Disneyland last year, was obsessed with Cars, and so we took him on the Cars ride. It was a little intense for him actually, as a 4 or 5 year old. But I think he would very much enjoy it now. He's not quite as Cars obsessed right now. The latest things are more kind of Black Panther is the big deal. For whatever reason, I think it comes from the Spidey and Amazing Friends episodes. But that's kind of where we're at. So we've got a kind of full Disneyland experience coming up, and so maybe we'll kind of share some experiences on that.
Disney's a fun place.
Yes, and AJ is lucky he got to go to Disneyland before I was age-wise, before I got to go to Disneyland. Growing up in a family with a lot of kids and single income household, we didn't have as much time to do that. We had a lot more kind of experiences of going to visit family and things like that. But I didn't go to Disneyland until my senior year of high school. Was the first time I went, and so we both kind of experienced it older, whereas my children get experienced it a lot younger and I get to build those memories with them, which is fun.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, some of our siblings haven't even been to Disneyland. Like Melina hasn't ever been to Disneyland at all.
Yeah,
but she's 22 now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So.
I don't think Derek has too. She's the one. He's the one right after Melina. So. Yeah,
I'm sure they'll get their time in the spotlight at some point, though, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna talk through now some stereotypes. Okay, so let's kind of dig in on them. Do we want to start with the millennial stereotypes or the Gen Alpha stereotypes?
I'll start this time. You started last time.
Okay, so millennial stereotypes that we've kind of come up with here. So I'm actually going to hand this over to you, and you can kind of, some of them are a little, you can kind of pick and choose what you want there. So go ahead and take a stab at it. Which ones do you think are most relevant? And while he's looking at those for the first time, we don't fit necessarily typical molds of a lot of millennials or Gen Alphas, having grown up in a more of a Christian, we're members of Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints household, and I was homeschooled. AJ experiences some level of homeschool. There's a lot more options for him now, so it's kind of a hybrid option, and so we have some little bit differences from there, but we still experience a lot of the same feelings of our regular generations. So.
Yeah. I like this one, personality and behavior. Always nostalgic for the 90s. Think they're special because their parents told them so. Overthink everything and need consistent validation.
Yeah, so let's talk about that first one. I am overly nostalgic for the 90s and early 2000s. That is a true statement. The music I listen to, it's all from the early 2000s. The Disney shows that I want to show my children are all from the 90s. That are the shows that I watched.
Didn't you find like a 90s rock version of like all of the Disney songs?
Yeah. Recently, Disney came out with an album of punk rock versions of Disney songs called. Oh shoot, I forgot the album name off the top of my head here. but it's great. I loved it, and I definitely kind of fond for the glory days of remembering those times. And I think that's not. But here's the thing. Here's my argument against why that's not necessarily a millennial thing. I think that every single generation does that because you have your fondest memories often come from where you spent your childhood and your teenage years for that. If you talk with our dad, what does he always talk about? He always talks about he has 800 stories and 90% of them are from when he was in high school.
Yeah. I honestly I think that's totally valid.
So okay, yeah. What was the next one? On the
Think
list?
they're special because their parents told them so.
My parents did not tell me so. So I do know the type. There are definitely the type. This is we kind of like look at the 90s. And if we look at just kind of generationally, we start seeing like families condensing. There's less big families. Kind of scrolling into the 90s. Being the oldest of 8 children, I definitely did not get that told that. I got told you're the example. That was the main thing that was emphasized to me very frequently, all the way through into my 20s even, is that I was the example and I needed to act as such, which was a good reminder a lot of time because yes, I do recognize that the younger kids, and I see this in my own 3 kids that I have now, where the 4-year-old will copy the 6-year-old frequently,
Yeah.
So that's kind of what my experience.
I for me personally, for this one, I feel like it's almost like 50-50 split between families, like just like how many kids, it depends on like how many kids were like in the family, because I was growing up with huge families, a huge family.
And it's not like we had all 8 of us in the house at the same time. By the time you and Winter, who's the next one above you, were born, I was out of the house, right? So there was only ever like 5 or 6 of us in the house at a time, but we were very condensed together, and it's still a lot comparatively to most, to a lot of families.
I just think that it really depends on the parents and who you grow up with, really. I feel like it can go either way.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, what was the next one?
Overthink everything and need consistent validation.
Yeah. So me personally, I don't know if I'm this way. I'm kind of a quick action type of person. My mom, our mom, always says, if you need something done fast, ask Patrick to do it. If you need something done right, to have extremely well and thoroughly, have somebody else do it. Probably, right? I still get things done well. I still can do things well, but I'm all about speed and efficiency a lot of times, and that's what makes me good at my job a lot of times, actually. But I do see a lot of times people really crave validation in kind of my era of things where they really need to have somebody tell them that they're doing it all right. So I think that's a valid stereotype.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to do some for me now?
Yep. Your turn. So.
All right.
Okay. So here is a couple for you. Let's say they think it's weird to call somebody instead of texting, or DMing, or whatever other method that you might use that's not calling.
Okay. For me personally, this isn't like the same for everyone. Obviously, there's gonna be differences in some people. But for me personally, it depends on the situation and it depends on the person. Cause I like calling people sometimes, but I know that people are busy sometimes, and so sometimes it like feels not necessarily like the right time to call someone, so I'll just like shoot them a text. Sometimes I'll just say, hey, can you call me right now? But for a lot of people my age, they will just text and will never call, but also they will like constantly have their phones on them, so they will respond like that. And so like it kind of makes a little bit more sense for them. But for me personally, I don't have my phone on me 24/7, and so sometimes I will call, sometimes I'll text, just depends on the situation.
Yeah, I think this is actually applicable all the way up into even someone in my generation. I would rather send a text most of the time than do a call. Yeah. There are things, however, that I am definitely going to make a call for. For instance, I had to do an insurance claim. Ain't no way I was going to do that over email and text, right? Yeah. Right. Sometimes, or like there's times where I will send a quick message to somebody, but other times, people at work will laugh at this if they ever watch this podcast. I will quote unquote poke my head in and say, hey, let's have a call about this because it's easier to talk it through, right? So yeah, I agree that it could be situational, but I do think that a lot of like the culture now is like text or email first, right? When the saying is a lot of times like this meeting could have been resolved over an email.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and like there's some things like that you just don't need to call them for. Like it's just easier to text them sometimes.
Sure.
But like for situations like you got in a car wreck or something, you need to call your mom. Like that, obviously you need to call.
Can you imagine getting a text?
Hey, I got to
It doesn't explain any context. They can't answer the questions.
Yeah, obviously there's gonna be situations for both, but
yeah.
Okay,
let's move on to the next one. They spend more time customizing their avatars with pick your game of choice, Fortnite, Roblox, whatever else, than actually playing the game.
Okay, so I think I think that a lot of people spend a ton of time customizing their characters. But that being said, some kids have like 600 hours on games.
And how much of that was spent customizing their character?
Yes, they're gonna. Excuse me. I've been having a cold. Yes, they're gonna have they can have like quite a bit of time to customize, but they're not. I don't think that they're gonna spend as much time customizing. I think they might spend an excess of time customizing, but I don't think that they're spending more time.
And I think that's probably where it comes from. Is like for my games from my generation, you had not as many customization options, and now I look at some of those, and I'm like, it's too much. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm out. It's too much.
Yeah.
So. Okay, how about this one? Prefer watching YouTube and TikTok over TV or movies?
Oh, that's so true.
Why?
I don't know. I guess for one thing, YouTube is sometimes just easier to just pull up quickly and just they're shorter normally. If you're going there are 4-hour YouTube videos, which I think is just absurd. You should put that into different videos, but that's besides the point. But generally, YouTube videos are shorter than movies. Yes, there are TV shows, but I don't know. It's different. It's just becoming more popular. I don't really know. It seems easier in a way.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah. So let's talk about actually something for differences in our childhoods a little bit here, with where our parents are at now, with what living where we're at now. So, are there any TV shows that you, mom, dad, and Winter might sit down and watch together regularly?
We were watching the Percy Jackson series.
Okay.
When it came out, we have watched the Mysterious Benedict Society series.
Okay.
There's some TV shows that we will watch, but we used to watch AGT a lot. We started doing that again recently, which I really love because I love watching movies as a family, to be honest. Yeah, I think that it's fun and enjoyable, and I'm also an extrovert, so.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what I'm hearing is not necessarily a lot, because when if you were to ask a millennial or ask me that question, they could tell you all the shows that they watched together as a family. Whether it was for some people it's going to be Friends, or it's going to be whatever other show. For us, we watched Greatest American Banter. We watched Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We watched stuff like that together as part of a thing that we did together, right? And my wife and I continue that tradition, right? Every week we're watching Survivor. Right? Every week we're watching. We have something that we're doing together. It's something that we do together. Outrider, when that came out, right, on Amazon. That was another show that we watched together. There's just something that we do kind of together. My wife, every time she has to watch the finale of just the Dancing with the Stars or whatever else it is, right? Some of those reality types of shows. That's not something that you guys would do as much.
Yeah. We do try and like weekly watch. Sometimes, actually, often more than weekly during the Christmas season, we will sit down and
right. Yeah,
watch
Christmas season I think is an exception.
a bunch of movies together.
We just watched Elf, for instance.
And we'll occasionally for family home evening, we'll just for an activity we'll just sit down and watch a movie. I feel like over the years it's become less and less that we've watched things. But
okay. Yeah, cool. Okay. All right, now let's talk over some things that we can both agree on. Okay. Number 1, memes.
Oh yes.
Low key the best.
So good.
Okay, great.
If you do not enjoy memes, there is something wrong with you. Or you just have found terrible memes.
Yeah, meme culture, we're both into it. And gift culture, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You
super
gotta
good.
send those gifts.
We both think that we think that boomers don't necessarily get it.
Yeah.
We can agree on that too. Okay, great. As long as we're on the same page
if
there.
you try and show grandma one of those things, I don't think she would get it.
Right. And sometimes even dad or just some of those too.
Dad's normally pretty good.
He's pretty good, or mom, some of the things. So.
Mom, not necessarily as much.
Yeah.
But dad is on not Facebook, Twitter, I guess X now.
Yep. And he's on TikTok a little bit too. I've seen him.
Yeah. He does some stuff on social media.
Alright, so speaking of our Gen Xers, baby boomers, silent generations, millennials, Gen Zs, Gen Alphas, I'm gonna give you a few items.
Okay.
And you're gonna guess what year-ish they kind of were invented or started coming out, okay? And then we'll kind of go from there. These are gonna be more kind of iconic items.
Okay.
I think. Okay. All right. Let's go with first off, the World Wide Web.
Okay.
When was that invented? And what generation would you associate it with?
I would associate it. I would probably associate it with. I want to say Gen X. Wait, is Gen X after millennials?
So
Before millennials, sorry.
Yeah, so the typical association for generations, and this is probably good context for everybody, you have the silent generation, which is the 40s, 30s even, baby boomers, which are the 50s to the 60s, Gen X, which is 70s to early 80s, millennials are mid-ish 80s through the probably 2000-ish. It could, some people put in probably 95 is usually where a lot of people, 95 to 97, somewhere in there. Gen Z is typically 95 to about 2010, which happens to be when you were born, right? And then 2010 onwards, Gen Alpha, and some people are even kind of putting in the next generation with the late 2020s, or sorry, the early 2020s, as kind of Gen Beta or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. I think that it was invented around the Gen X time, and I think it started getting used more in millennials time ? I don't really know, but that's just kind of what I am thinking about.
Okay. All right. 1989. So it's kind of smack dab right in the middle of millennials is when it was invented.
Okay.
And then it really came to popularity. You'll hear the .com crash. That's a popular term associated with that. But you'll hear kind of the internet really didn't take off until probably the 2000s. So definitely kind of millennials were the ones that started using it a lot more as kids your age, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of who I would typically associate that with. Okay.
That was pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close. Pretty close. Okay. All right. Let's say I'm just gonna put this as generic. I'm not gonna give the specifics of it, but let's go with the video game console.
Like the.
A video game console that you can play video games on.
Oh. Ooh. I have no idea. Like just any like was there like an actual just like a console?
There's a console that was specifically dedicated to playing a game of some sort.
Well, I know that Dad played like arcade games.
Okay.
So it would have had to be before Dad.
Okay.
Because that was. I'm assuming you're talking about like the first games.
You could you can classify it as that, and then you could also classify like when did it kind of like become actually popular, right?
Okay.
So first one was invented as the Atari. Video game console is usually the first one, and that's 1977.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like,
where would you kind of put the when did video games really like start defining a generation?
So I feel like arcade games were pretty popular in like when Dad was like in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe.
So you want to stick it with the Gen X's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Gen X is a good place to put it because I think they really started investing time into it.
Yeah.
Like it was a popular thing, and then millennials took it to another level with Xboxes and PlayStations and handheld devices as well, right? So that's kind of where I would stick it.
Yeah.
Okay. Disposable diapers.
Okay. I'm gonna assume like Gen X invented it, but it's more started getting used in millennials. For millennials.
Okay, you're one generation off. Baby boomers. This is a 1961 invention, and it definitely took off more with the Gen X kind of version of things.
Cool.
Okay, all right. The selfie stick.
The selfie stick. Ooh, I think that's more of an earlier. That's definitely more of an earlier. Later?
More recent.
More recent. That's the word I was looking for. Because selfies weren't really around. I wouldn't say that it started getting popular for Gen Z, but it was probably invented like 2000s.
All right. Okay. Definitely not the 2000s. It wasn't invented until like 2014. And the reason for that is because we didn't really have a culture of this, and you didn't have the double-sided phone cameras, right?
Yeah,
and so it's definitely a Gen Z invention, and Gen Z really took off with that. Like I looked at selfie sticks and I was like, I've never owned one. I know mine now.
I feel like
not for me. I'm too old for that.
I feel like they're still not very popular.
No, it's very Gen Z.
Yeah.
It's like, and there's like a very specific segment of Gen Z that was like the thing.
Yeah.
Now I do think also that you'll see kind of a lot more like touristy vibes, like people who go on tourist stuff that are a lot older that will have like the selfie stick.
Yeah.
But selfie stick, super Gen Z for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, last one. Post-it notes.
Baby boomer.
Yeah, 1968.
Okay.
Didn't really catch on in popularity until more of kind of that Gen X generation as well.
I'm assuming that that's something that they probably could have invented back then.
Yeah,
so
complete accident actually. So.
Well, I feel like a lot of inventions are just complete
they
accidents,
can be, for
like
sure.
chocolate chip cookies. And other stuff.
Okay. All right. Now it's time for a story from my
Grab your popcorn, guys.
Yeah, you being born. Okay. Have you ever heard the story of my first crush? Okay, great. This is not like the first time that I recognized that I thought girls were cute. Okay, this is like a real like hardcore crush, right? You remember I was homeschooled up till high school, so like kind of hard to develop crushes on girls. Freshman year, okay, your age. I was 14. Okay, there was a girl that I thought was super cute. Okay, and she was blonde. She was a cheerleader. She was very popular, and
Oh boy.
I thought she was really, really cute. I had a crush on her all through freshman year, and then we happened to get a class sophomore year together.
Oh.
Okay, and the seating assignment had me next to her. It was great.
Oh boy.
And in this class, we had an assignment where we were working on something together. And we had a presentation that we were supposed to be working on. Well, we kind of worked on this presentation like very little, and we ended up just kind of talking for a while on a lot of things. And that was fine, except for the next day when we were supposed to give her a status update to our teacher. We didn't have that happen.
It sounds like a movie.
It's super classic. And instead of like both of us kind of sharing the blame, she grabs my hand, and I'm like, I turned beet red, man, just beet red. And she goes, "Oh, didn't you know we weren't studying?" To the teacher. And if I was red before, I turned so red at that point. Anyways. That's the story of my first crush.
Oh.
Yep. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So, and then because, and I still actually had a crush on her for after that. And then I ended up joining the cheer squad my senior year, right? You knew that, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Do you know that story about how?
No.
So so we had a pep rally at school, and they roll out the mats, and I previously taken tumbling, and so I still could do a back handspring, so I did a round off and a couple back handsprings. They're just kind of showing off with some of my friends, and or later that day at lunch, I had a whole horde of cheerleaders come up to me at lunch and say, "Hey, would you like to join the cheer squad?" And I said, "Yeah, I would." And so I did, and it was I learned a lot of stuff from that, just being involved with it.
Was your crush still on the cheer squad?
The dumb thing is that she decided to stop being on the cheer squad out here and focus on other things instead. So
that's funny.
it was pretty funny how that ended up working out. But so that's kind of. You'll hear a few more stories about, we might have some more serious ones, we might have some more funny ones, but those are kind of a couple stories. So, I want to ask you, how do you think you would have handled a situation like that?
Oh, not very well.
Things never change.
Yeah, I would have been so embarrassed. I hate it when I'm like behind on schoolwork or whatever. I get stressed out.
So it's from that, not from necessarily liking a girl.
Well, I haven't ever really liked a girl.
So he says.
I haven't. And so I don't necessarily know about that, but like, I'm sure that would also have been awful too.
It was not about the schoolwork, and I was a good student, right? I got A's, and like 1B, which was bad, but we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, like that was definitely it. So, all right. So I think we're kind of running up on time, so maybe we'll do some sports next time around.
Right.
Let's do the $15 game again. I think I like that one, so let's do that. All right, so we're going to do 4 rounds. We have life skills in each round, and do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first in the draft? I like it when you go first because I already know all things.
Yeah.
So okay, we'll just have you go first every time. All right, so we're going to do life skills draft. So life skill number 1, for $1, the ability to write in cursive.
I can already do that.
For two, no, these are just things you have. Okay, for $2, basic cooking skills. For $3, first aid basics. For $4, being able to manage a budget, and for $5, excellent leadership skills.
$4.
You want managing a budget?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Well, I just feel like budgeting would stress me out, and so if I actually knew how to do it, it would be a lot better.
Okay, great. I'm gonna take the $5 option here. You can make a lot of money if you have good leadership skills, and it's something that's
Definitely
sorely needed.
true.
So, okay, all right. Life skill number 2. Okay, reading an analog clock. Do you know what an analog clock is?
Is that just
Just the timing.
Yeah.
Okay. Being able to fold a fitted sheet for $2.
Okay.
For $3, public speaking skills. For $4, the master conflict resolution guy. Okay, peacemaker. Okay, and for $5, fluent in a second language.
Oh. How many rounds?
You got 3 more rounds after this, and you have $11.
I don't think I can afford the final one, the last one. That's already $9. I'll do the $3 option.
Public speaking?
Yeah.
Okay. Why public speaking over out of those?
I feel like I'm not a terrible speaker, but I definitely can get a little bit nervous when speaking, and I do think that it would be cool to be like a influential speaker, like on
Sure. TED Talk man.
TED Talk or whatever. Yeah. But I find those always fascinating, and like what people have done are cool, and like when people are like talking and they're interesting, it's fun.
Cool.
So.
Yeah. Okay. I will take the $4 option. It's something that I'm not great at. I run into a lot, and I need to get better at it. So, okay. All right. Life skill number 3: the ability to tie a bow tie.
Okay.
Sewing on, being able to sew on buttons and other kind of handy skills like that. Driving a stick shift car.
Okay.
Being able to build presentations and doing presentation skills, and then home repair, like handyman around the house, for $5.
What was the second option?
So $1 tying a bow tie, $2 sewing skills, $3 driving a stick shift, $4 giving master presentation skills, and $5 being handyman, home repair guy, knowing everything how to do on that.
I'll do the sewing.
You can take sewing.
Yeah.
Okay. For $2.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. I've used $9 on my $15 budget. I'm gonna take the $5 budget, $5 option. Stick with what I get for the last one, because home repair is something I'm terrible at as well, and wish I was better at. So that makes a significant difference in my 30-year-old life. All right. Okay. You have used $10, so you can take any of these options, and I'm gonna be stuck with the $1 option.
Okay.
So for the $1 option is paper airplane making skills.
Yes.
For $2 are really great navigation skills. Okay. For $3 parallel parking skills.
Okay.
For $4 CPR, and for $5 that you are a problem solver.
Ooh. I'll take the $5 option.
All right, that's probably a good call.
Yeah.
And I will take paper airplanes now.
Yeah.
I will be pleased with this option, even if I'm useless with directions.
Yes.
So okay, well, good. So all right, well, that's kind of what we had planned for today. So for all of our listeners out there, just maybe leave a comment of like what's something that you've learned from, like either something that you have learned that you want to pass on to a future generation, or something you've learned from a past generation that you would want to pass on. I think that's kind of a good thing. Next episode, I think maybe next episode we'll talk about some sports, and maybe we'll talk about some hobbies that we have that we share together.
Yeah.
So again, like, comment, subscribe, get on, interact with us, send us your questions, things that you have, and we're excited to keep going.
Yeah, and as always, if you want us to do anything, just comment and we'll see what we can do.